Hello everyone, this is UnlikelyWaffle here. Today is a fairly special day, because today, today meaning the day you watch this, not the day I recorded. I'm actually recording it yesterday when you watch it. Which is today. You can figure that out for yourself. But anyways, today marks exactly 1 year since I uploaded my first video, technically first 8 videos, but my first video to YouTube. It started all off with Survival Life. Surviving the first night.
So it appears that the game has put us in the middle of a plains biome, which is great for when you want to build your first home, because this is a nice flat area, and you don't have to dig out a whole lot to make a home. Breaking down the tree is
Fun fact, this first video actually was not the first video that I ever recorded for the channel. The first video was actually episode number 2 of Surviving the First Night, where we go mining. That is because the first episode that I recorded was actually pretty terrible, because I've always recorded my audio separate from the gameplay, right? Using Audacity, because it's free and it's easy and it's working really well so far. But the first episode, I did not do that. I recorded my audio in Fraps with the gameplay, and I could not separate it later. And it turned out that it was terrible. It was just awful. Awful commentary, that's what I'm looking for. But I did not realize that until I had, like, 8 episodes done already. I think it was the first 8 episodes. And then I went back and started editing everything. And I realized this is too bad. I need to redo this. Because the way I recorded things was that I would record things, like I would plan out the episode, like I would write down in a notebook like this, my entire episode. I would have everything planned out, I would know exactly what to say exactly when, but I would still mess it up, and so I would have to go back and re-record the audio over things. And luckily that seemed to work out pretty well. But it was really a hassle because I was not used to recording on camera yet, so I had to really plan out what I was going to do. But yeah, I just kept the Survival Life series going for a little while. I was originally thinking it makes sense to do an episode every few days, like every 3 or 4. I could take 1 day to plan it out, 1 day to record it, 1 day to edit it and render it, and then upload the next day. And that seemed reasonable, and I did that for a little while, and it didn't work out all that well because I ended up kind of going off of it for a bit. I just kind of lost enthusiasm at one point, but that's a little bit later. But I was doing Survival Life, and it was fun doing a tutorial series, of course, right? Who wouldn't like that? But I was thinking it'd be fun to just do a Let's Play where I could just do whatever I want, and I don't have to teach anything. I could just build and have fun with it. And that started off my Let's Play series, Waffle Plays Minecraft, on August 27th. It was like a week later.
But anyway, one of these holes in the ground, it was right on top of... Yes, here it is. Right where I spawned like 10 blocks that way. And first thing I come across is a hole in the ground with a bunch of iron exposed. And so that was pretty awesome.
But in that episode, I actually remember mentioning that I liked doing a Let's Play series, because that means I didn't have to plan anything out. I could just do it straight off, put it into my editing program, render it out, and I was perfect for it.
I expect this series to be pretty interesting because it doesn't have to be as structured as my tutorial series Survival Life, which means that I can do a lot more with it, and I can do a lot more interesting stuff initially. On my tutorial series, I have pretty much a script that I work off of, that I write for myself each time, and so I know exactly what to say and when to say it.
And to be fair, it actually worked out pretty well like that. Although I did still have to re-record things because I was still not that comfortable on camera, and had no real idea of what I was really saying. So I would just kind of go off on tangents sometimes. Probably do that today. And then September 3rd came around, and 1.8 got released. This is the first time I was around for an update while doing YouTube, that is. I started off Minecraft in like 1.2 or 3, I think. Might have been earlier, I don't remember. But So I'd been around for a few updates, but then I went off Minecraft for a little while, and once again, I'm going off on a tangent here. I need to stick to this. But this is the first time I was doing YouTube and an update came out, so I finally was able to do a update video, going through all the new blocks and everything. Man, that took quite a few tries to do. And then, once again, I was just kind of going through, making everything work together, doing the Let's Plays, doing the Survival Life, doing stuff like that. And then I decided, why not try a map? It's been a while since I've did a map. I think the last map I did was like in 1.4 or something. It was way back when, and I had no real experience with it past that. And I had only really just gotten the barest idea of what a map really was at that point, but I studied up on them, and I decided to do one that had just been released relatively recently. I think I was inspired by B00 to do this map, which was Simburbia. Of course, I had loved SimCity as a kid, and SimCity and Minecraft, that's even better.
First get a bulldoze token from the main menu. It's how you do stuff with your plots. And down here in the corner, you'll see Advisor. I recommend always reading those, because they will often be useful.
But fun fact about that map. The first video of that, it actually took me 5 tries to do, because I was still working with my old computer. Well, technically it's still this computer, but it was the old version of it, where I had not updated the RAM yet. And so recording on that map did not work out that well, because my computer was just barely powerful enough to render 10 chunks alone, let alone with however many command blocks were running that map. And so that it was quite shaky, as you can tell when you watch that video. It was just horrid. I don't know how I managed to play that as well as I did. But once again, I remember saying in that video, no, actually, I think it was actually when I completed the map entirely a couple months later, or no, it was like a month later, that I remember saying, this is amazing. I don't think I could ever do something like this in a million years.
Look at this. This is ridiculous. I don't think I could ever do this in a million years. Another interesting thing I found was this room.
And I proceed to go and learn all I can about it, taking apart everything, trying to see how things work together, commands-wise, because I had no idea about commands. I was just barely getting into the swing of things with learning what, like, set block was. And so I set off on a course to learn commands. A little while later, I was playing my, survival series. That's not correct grammar at all. But I was playing my survival series, all of them, and I kept getting a lot of redstone and I wasn't really sure what to do with it. So I was learning about redstone. I'd known a little bit about it, like how to power and unpower a piece of redstone, what a redstone block was, what a lever was, stuff like that. Really, really basic stuff. And so I decided to watch some videos and learn how to do redstone, how it worked together. And so this is a huge tip for anyone who wants to learn how to do redstone. Watch all the tutorial series you can, all the tutorial videos you can on redstone, and build everything you can in a creative world. That's exactly how I learned it, and it took a little while, but it worked. I learned how to use redstone together. And from that, I got hooked by Mr. Crayfish and Nims TV, because they had some really good redstone videos, of course. Then after that, a little bit was Etho and Log.zip. They had some really good redstone videos too. Those were a little bit more advanced because I was starting to get the basic hang of things. And I was wanting something a little bit more advanced and learning how to do some of the more advanced mechanics. Such as, like, learning about timing with the redstone and how to get the flush door, how to open it and close it. And then, after I found them and were a fan of them for a little while, then I came across Mumbo Jumbo, and my life just went to a wonderful place, really, because I started learning everything about redstone that I possibly could, because he has so many videos on it, that on the different kind of mechanics like latches and monostable circuits, and pretty much anything you want, like bud switches. Those are a huge one that I'm still not entirely sure how to get them working right, because I'm pretty sure half the videos I watch are outdated. And so once I felt I had a pretty good grasp on it, I started making my own redstone stuff, and I started off with a cow breeder. One that could breed cows and then potentially cook them if I could possibly get it there. The first version of that was very different from how it ended up looking eventually. And yeah, it didn't work really at all. But then I tinkered with it, got it working. It worked fine. It bred the cows, shoved the babies out, dropped them into a pit where they could grow up and fall into some fire and die. It's a little bit brutal. But then I had an idea. Aren't sheep about the same size? This is 1.8. We can use them for mutton now. And sure enough, they worked. They were about the same size and they worked perfectly. And so I got into my head, pigs might be about the same size. Could they work too? No, pigs are a lot smaller than cows and sheep. But then I found adding a couple slabs and changing a couple blocks around actually made the machine work for them too. And so, in the style of Mumbo Jumbo, I decided to take on making redstone videos at that point. Starting with the cow, pig, sheep, breeder, and cooker.
This is Unlikely Waffle here. Welcome to my redstone tutorial on this cow farm. This farm is all in one. It lets you breed, kill, and cook the cows all in one place. In addition to cows, you can also use this farm to kill and cook sheep and pigs.
Yeah, I think that's how I phrased it. I say it differently every time I say it. It comes out differently every time I say it. That sounds better. And that actually went really well. It took me a few tries to make that episode. And then I uploaded it. And it became my first video to reach 1,000 views. Which stoked the heck out of me. I loved it. It was a few months down the line that it became the first video to reach 1,000 views. Sorry about that. It looked like there was something on my screen. But then I became a little bit bored with YouTube, like I was talking about earlier. And I started taking longer and longer breaks in between videos. It came to the point where it was taking like a couple weeks to put out even one video. And then there was a point where I just skipped like 3 weeks and just stopped YouTube for a while. I was thinking, I'll just let it fall by the wayside. I have like 3 subscribers. All of them are my friends and family. And so this won't be a huge deal. Glad I did not decide to keep that, but it took a little while to get back into it. But ever since then, I've been learning a bit of commands, and learning all I could about it, really. And so, come about December, and so I tried making my own map kind of thing. Turned out to be more of like a mini show, because I was working with the commands and seeing if I could just... It was kind of like a proof of concept that I knew how they worked together, and see if I could work with the timing and everything. And it actually worked out pretty well. But that became my first map, which was the Christmas tree show, where basically a tree grew up out of nowhere and got presents and lights on it. It was really simple. It took like 15 seconds, and well, my computer screwed up with it a lot. My computer was still not powerful at that point, but I had upgraded the RAM at this point, and so it was working a lot better. The thing about that is, as simple as it was, I could probably build it in like 2 hours now. It took a full month for me to get it right. But then in January, New Year, I made a couple resolutions. I wanted to get back into YouTube, do it better, do it more than I had before. And that worked out pretty well. I actually stuck with it for a while. Started becoming a little bit bored with it again, but I did not take huge breaks like I had before, which was probably a good idea. At this point, I had stopped using my old headset mic, which is sitting over here on the floor next to me because I stepped on it earlier. Don't want to show you, it's bad. But I upgraded to new mics. I tried a few of them, like Blue Yeti Pro, then I went over for ATX because the Blue Yeti Pro did not work at all with my computer. And then I got rid of the ATX because it wasn't exactly what I was looking for. And I went back to a Blue Yeti, but this one wasn't a Pro, and I've stuck with it ever since. It's probably my favorite mic, and it was only $100. So I was pleased with it. And then, on January 9th, I decided it's time to stop with Minecraft for a little bit, or at least not do solely Minecraft, because this is becoming a little bit boring. I started on The Escapists, and that became quickly one of my favorite games, because I just don't know why. It's just a really fun game.
TV remote? I don't think that's going to be useful. Hammer? I don't think so. Let's see what's in Michael's desk. Hopefully Michael has some good stuff. Cookie! Of course. Wire. That'll be handy. Comb. Let's make that comb into a shiv real quick.
And at that point, I was starting to do about 1 video a day, maybe one every couple days if I got a little bit too busy, because I was trying to look for a job and I had a little bit of time to work on stuff. And so actually towards the middle of January, I was actually doing like 2 or 3 videos a day, because I had pretty much all the time in the world on my hands. And then once I got a job, I was dwindled down to 1 video a day, because it took a long time for my computer to render things, and it took a long time to record still. And at that point, I also had decided, why not work on a full-size map? This Christmas thing was pretty fun, and it got some good reviews. I even talked to QMac it the first time, which was awesome. And of course, towards February, I was actually doing a lot of custom maps, because I wanted to learn about what different mechanics different maps used, and I wanted to, they were just fun and easy to do. I was pressed for time, and so I could pump one of those out pretty quickly, and it also gave me some connections within the Minecraft community. When March came around, I felt like I had a pretty good grasp on command blocks and commands. I had an idea of how they work together pretty well, because I was halfway through a map, making my first map. Technically second map, but it was really like first full map. And so I decided to do command block tutorials in the style of Dragnaws. Alright, we're going to throw our incendiary grenade, and you're going to see that it starts smoking for a little bit, and then it erupts into fire. Who doesn't love fire? Well, probably not snowmen. I'm going to be kind of fast forwarding through time now, because it was kind of just maintaining as it was at this point. But then on April 21st, I uploaded my 17th video of my Let's Play. I still have not done that very much, I'm really sorry. And I got a comment on it from a guy called Serproids, or Siproids, or something like that. I couldn't remember how I used to mispronounce it. Turns out it was Serprods. That became, it took me a little bit to get that name right. I don't know why. It was difficult for me to say. I don't know why. Or no, it might have been episode 20. Either way, doesn't now matter. Serprods commented on it, on that video, saying that he was part of a private whitelisted server for YouTubers, and they were looking to grow. And he wanted to know if I was interested, and so if so, contact him at Skype right here. And so I did. We talked for a couple hours. Or not a couple hours, god, that's bad. Talked for like 20 minutes. And then a couple hours after that, I was whitelisted, had joined the Northern faction, and was part of the ominous server. Then, about 11 o'clock at night, this was a work night, remember, I had to get up at 7 a.m. the next morning. At 11 p.m. that night, we started doing a server tour with me, Citrus, and Respawn, and Serprods. It was awesome. It was a lot of fun.
Oh, good. Oh my gosh, did Ed come here too? What happened?
What happened?
All the water's messed up.
Oh, well, I think someone acquired it. Because that's the closest ice to the south.
It took 2.5 hours to do. I recorded the whole thing and spent 3 days then editing it down to 45 minutes. Even then, I cut out some stuff that I really wanted to keep. And also, that was the first time I had done multiplayer, and so I realized that about a day later, that I actually did not record my own voice. I'd forgotten to reset Fraps to that. And so, that was a really big pain. Actually, the day before I got in contact with Serprods, I decided it might be fun to do Loot Crate. A lot of other YouTubers do it. It looks like fun. It's fun stuff. It's good stuff. And so, a couple days after that, I did Loot Crate, and that was my first full live video. And then fast forward one more month to May 23rd. That is when I finally published my complete map. It took a long time to make that map, and I was really happy with it, and it turned out it was the worst buggy thing you've ever seen. It was just terrible, really. It took a good month and a half to get all the bugs out. I'm still not convinced all the bugs are out of there. Every time I fix something, I would break something else, and yeah. But about that time also, I was interested in starting on Patreon, like supporting my favorite creators, like, for instance, Mumbo Jumbo and Ron Smaley, because they were two of my favorite people on YouTube to watch. I watched them every single day. And so I pledged for them. And then June 2nd, I think. No, June 7th. I got a message on Patreon from Ron Smalek saying, "Hey, thanks for supporting me. I'd like to chat sometime, and if you're interested, we can do a couple videos together or something like that." So I was like, yeah, we talked for a while that night, which was fantastic. And he ended up inviting me to his vanilla server for his vanilla challenge map, which he was doing with Q-Magnet. I'm really blanking on other people's names now. I'll probably put a cut in right here with all their names. And so, at that point, I felt like I was kind of established in the Minecraft community, map-specific community, because I was talking to one of the best map makers, in my opinion, still is. And I feel like there's a really great place for me map making. I absolutely love it. I have a lot of ideas that I could probably put down onto maps. It might take a little while, but then I started doing 60-minute challenges, and which was the challenge by Rockabilly and CDF Demand, where you have 60 minutes to make a complete map, given a couple of random words. And then a few weeks ago, I was talking to R. Smalek, and I suggested possibly doing like a tournament-style thing. Competition between either all map makers who wanted to join, or just the people who've won the 60-minute challenges prior to that. And so he got really excited about it. We hashed it out over the next couple days, and then he announced the August 2015 60-minute map making challenge tournament. I have to put the tournament in there because otherwise it has no difference, to be fair. Of which I have joined, and it's currently still going on. I think week 4's words will be released today or tomorrow. Today or tomorrow being, for me, my own timing. For you, it would be either yesterday or today. It's confusing. And that pretty much leads us right to where we are today. And now, because it has been 1 year, I want to think about the future of my channel. And I've decided that there's absolutely nothing in the world that will stop me from doing YouTube. As long as I am alive, can't promise I'm even alive right now, to be fair, but as long as I am alive, I will always be doing YouTube. I will always put out videos. And my circumstances in the future will change, including pretty soon here. It's going to be changing because I'm going to be going back to school. But I just realized that's reflecting really nicely. There's the back of my chair. Once again, tangents. But like I said, I will always be doing YouTube. Circumstances will always change, and I might not be able to upload a video every single day, or I might be able to upload multiple videos per day. But I will always do a video at least once a week. Might have to change it to a little bit more than that, like once every 8 days or so, but at least once a week I will always do a video, as long as I can. Unless I lose my voice or my head gets chopped off or something like that, in which case I'm not making any promises. But I just want to thank everyone who has supported me so far with all my subscribers and everything. And this past year has just been freaking amazing. I absolutely loved all of my time that I've had on YouTube so far, and I look forward to many more years of it. Even if my subscribers dwindle, I'm not going to stop doing it. Even if I have one person watching, that's still one person more than no one. And I want to make that one person happy with my videos, so why not? But like I was saying, I want to thank everyone who has supported me so far, all of my subscribers. I think right now I'm sitting on about 192 or so. I could be wrong. Wow. Oh, okay. So 198 as of right now. That's amazing. Some people have secretly subscribed. Nice, thank you. Thank you everyone so much for letting me do this. And I hope I can bring you even better content in the next year and years to come. And I want to thank everyone who I have gotten in contact with in this past year, such as all the people on the Ominous server, like Toast and Freespawn and Surprods, of course, because I do the most work with him, as well as Ron Smalek and Q-Magnet and CDFG and CDF Demand, and pretty much everyone who's come into my life that I never even once suspected that I could possibly even talk to last year. Also, I find it kind of interesting that this video will make the 295th video on my channel. 295th? Is that right? Yeah, 295th. Wow. I wrote that down and I still don't believe it. It doesn't seem possible that I could have almost 300 videos up now. It seems like I only started this like 6 months ago or so. Not a full year. But thank you for everything, and this past year, it has been an amazing ride so far. And once again, I look forward to what the future brings for us. I hope that you have enjoyed the content that I've put out so far, and I severely hope that you enjoy the content that I have yet to come. Because there's a couple things in the works. I've said that in the past, but it's never panned out all that well. But anyways, guys, I hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please be sure to hit a like and a comment down below. It really helps out the channel. Also, make sure to subscribe if you really enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. So long, everyone.